What is something a friend has done to you that you realize that that is not your friend? I'll go first. I got this. Well, I had a friend who faked her pregnancy for more than 9 months. She told me that she was pregnant when she found out that me and my husband had been trying for 2 years and we couldn't get pregnant. So I told her how sad I was because we had tried for a long time and that it wasn't happening. So all of a sudden she gets pregnant with her boyfriend. And she was always complaining about this boyfriend, saying how toxic the relationship was, how he didn't love her, but she was just playing the victim. She would always play the victim on everything because she wanted the attention. She loved attention. So, anyways, every month would come and I would message her to ask her about the baby, like, oh, how's the baby? How's the baby developing? And she's all like, oh, I'm really happy. The baby's growing. And she even had ultrasounds. She had ultrasounds for this pregnancy. Anyways, so when the months had passed, I was really happy for her. I still couldn't get pregnant, and I told her how happy I was. She's all like, well, it'll be an honor if you baptize my baby. And I was like, oh, well, I'm really happy that if I can't get pregnant, at least I'm gonna have this baby in my life, which I will have the honor of being the godmother for. And so I was so happy for her. I told my husband what she asked, if I could baptize her baby. I was really happy and excited for it. Well, my husband told me, well, it's been already 9 months. I can't believe she still hasn't had the baby. That's so sketchy. And I was like, no, I didn't think anything bad about it. I was like, no, she said that she's barely 8 months. And the baby is coming next month. They're going to schedule her a C-section. So I messaged her the day before her scheduled C-section. And I told her, oh, how's it going? Like, what time's the C-section tomorrow? And are you nervous? She's like, oh, yeah, they tested me for COVID today and they had to change it. So she told me and she told her boyfriend that they had to change her C-section appointment because of that she had tested positive for COVID, but she had no symptoms. That all of a sudden she tested positive. So I was like, oh, well, that's crazy because you're already 40 weeks. They can't schedule you for another 2 weeks and take out the baby in a C-section in 42 weeks. I was like, I don't think that's they're able to do that because I had a C-section before and I know they like to take the baby out a week before. So she's like, oh no, they told me that 42 weeks they'll do the C-section. Well, I was like, oh well, doctors know better than me. So anyway, so 2 weeks pass. The day of her C-section comes, the day before I messaged her and I was like, oh, I'm so happy for you. Are you nervous? How are you feeling? She's like, oh, well, I'm really nervous. Tomorrow's a big day. And I told her it's going to be okay. I have all the text messages where I told her, like, I'm praying for you. Everything's going to go well. Please keep me updated. She's like, yeah, I'll let you know. She was supposed to have the C-section that morning, early in the morning. So I messaged her. I was like, hey, how's it going? Have they called you into the room? She's like, oh, they rescheduled it. They changed it for later on today. Good luck. And she's like, oh, well, they changed it to later on tonight to 6 p.m. 7 p.m. I have all the text messages. I should have posted them on here as a back screen so you guys could see it. So then she says, oh yeah, they're gonna do it right now. So she sends me a picture of her waiting in a waiting room, of like a waiting room and someone's feet. So like if she was waiting there. So I was like, oh, okay, well, good luck. Contact me in the morning and tell me how everything went because I had to go to bed because I had to go to work in the morning. So she says, yeah, that's fine. I wake up the next morning and her boyfriend messaged me like this really long paragraph, this huge paragraph saying, like, announcing to many people. So I guess he sent it to his family as well, some relatives. It was all private on Snapchat. And he said a really long paragraph saying like, hey, like, she lied to us these 9 months. She was never pregnant. She's never been pregnant. She confessed that night of the supposed appointment that she had never been pregnant. And so he confessed it. I told him like how, like what, like what's going on? And he said no, that she said that she lied, that she was pregnant at one point, supposedly, and that she lost the baby, to which he was unaware of. And that she told him, oh yeah, but I am pregnant now, but I'm not having the baby till another 2 months. And I told him, and you're gonna believe her? Like, after all of this, after lying to us for this many months, you're gonna believe that she's actually pregnant and now you have to wait another 2 months for her to have the baby? No, like it's all BS. So I message her and I tell her, like, how could you do this? Like, really? Like, why would you make up this whole lie this long? What were you waiting for? So my husband says that maybe she was waiting for me to get pregnant. Who knows? So now I am pregnant. I'm pregnant right now, and I told my husband it terrifies me to even get in contact with her. I don't want to have anything to do with her. I blocked her. I stopped all communication with her after that happened, and I tell my husband, what if she's one of those people that will steal someone else's child and claim it as theirs? That is so scary. So to this day, I don't know what happened with her. Like the whole friendship was toxic. I had family that would tell me like, no, that girl's just toxic. She's bad news. Ever since they met her, my sister said that she seemed sketchy, that there was something off about her. And I didn't want to believe her. I would go against my family to say no. Like I would defend her and say, no, she's a sweet person. Like, how could you do this to her? So my sister from the get-go didn't like her because she took somebody else's husband away. So the boyfriend she was dating was married, and he left his wife with his 3 kids for her. So it was just crazy. So to answer some of you guys' questions, so I did see her between those 9 months because I made her a whole basket for the baby. Like I said in my story, I made her a whole basket. I took her so many clothes. And so the girl was she was big. She was how can I explain her body? She looked pregnant. Like even before she got pregnant, she looked pregnant. So sometimes you can't tell when people are pregnant. With my first 2 daughters, I didn't show until I was like 7 months. So this girl looked big, and me and her boyfriend believed that she was pregnant because of her belly. We weren't gonna say, oh no, 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 like you had to grow extra weight on your weight. So she weighed like maybe around 200 pounds, I'm gonna guess. And so that's why we didn't find it sketchy that she wasn't growing a belly, because she wasn't a thin girl. I did talk to her for a while during the pregnancy, keeping track of her. I would see her. We would work together. We were working together at the time. She even quit the job because of the pregnancy. She said that she had to quit because she had to dedicate herself to her pregnancy and her baby. And I told her, yeah, like go for it. Think about yourself first. Put your pregnancy first, because she said she was having complications. Anyways, I messaged her that morning. She never responded. She left me on red. Ever since that day, she never responded to me. So I ended up blocking her, because I was like, if she doesn't have the guts to admit to me or tell me in my face what she did was all a lie, then I don't need to be friends with her. And still, that was also really bad. So why would I stay friends with someone that toxic? I realized that she wasn't a good person to be around with. She was just dragging me into her problems. She would always say she was going to unalive herself. And it was always constantly worrying about her. So it just had to stop somewhere.
I went to go get an ultrasound at 14 weeks at the ER because I was bleeding so much. I was convinced that I was having a miscarriage. So I get to the ER. They do an ultrasound, and luckily baby was completely fine. He had a really great heartbeat. I remember them even telling me he had the hiccups during the ultrasound. So I was beyond happy, but they wanted me to follow up with my OB in 3 days. So I follow up in 3 days with my OB, and she starts to do an ultrasound on me, the regular belly ultrasound. So I follow up with my OB 3 days later, and she does an ultrasound on me. She starts with the one on the belly. And I knew within a few seconds something was wrong, because her body language, she wasn't saying anything. I didn't hear a heartbeat. And for some reason, like I felt it in the pit of my stomach. Something was wrong. So then she does a vaginal ultrasound, and still nothing. She just keeps shaking her head. She's like, yeah, not finding anything. And at that point, I was a hot mess. My mind was all over the place. So she said, hun, I'm going to call in another doctor right now to go ahead and do an ultrasound as well to confirm the demise of your baby. And that broke me. So the next doctor comes in, he does an ultrasound, he does a vaginal ultrasound, he does like the top ultrasound. And after a few minutes, he was like, yeah, very cold too. He was just like, yeah, sorry, there's no heartbeat. Literally just like that. After that, it was really quick. Like I just felt like they were trying to rush me out. They're like, yeah, so we'll give you a call in a couple days. Someone will give you a call to schedule you a DNC since you're too far along to miscarry on your own. I scheduled a DNC. Everything was good to go. And honestly, I was so sad and just so miserable, obviously, that I just wanted to get it over with. So on my way to work one day, I had about maybe a couple days left before my procedure. My mom calls me, and I just heard something different in her voice. I know my mom very well, and me and her have a very strong connection. And so it was just in her voice. She just wanted me to get another opinion. She just felt strongly about it. And so I did it almost for her. And I hate to say that. It wasn't so much. I went ahead and scheduled an ultrasound at one of these like 4D places, the 4D ultrasound places. I let them know ahead of time why I was coming, that it wasn't really a happy visit, and that I just wanted to confirm, have peace of mind so that I can go forward with the DNC. And I get there, I'm not even looking at the screen, I'm looking at my phone. I'm just like kind of tapped out. And a few seconds in, literally, she's like, "What did your doctor say?" And I said, 2 of them said that there was no heartbeat. She was like, "I have the chills." And she turns the screen to me and she shows me the baby, and he's kicking and moving his arms, and he has the strongest heartbeat. And here we are. I'm about to give birth any day now.